Woo! Y'all gon' make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gon' make me go all out. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gon' make me act a fool. Up in here, up in here. Y'all gon' make me lose my cool. Up like that. Up in here.
What's up, YouTube? It is your boy Sanchize405 coming at you on the warpath. We've got Amir here, y'all, and we're down from 90 to 53. We've got a safety who's thinking about maybe walking away, and got a little bit more going on here today. But Amir, the big deal was Saturday. The Skins came down to 53 for the final roster. And they also added some members to the practice squad as well. And to be honest, for lack of a better term, we screwed the pooch on guessing who was going to still be there. But I told you D Hall was going to find a way to be there somehow. And
you did.
He's there. So, I guess we're going to have to call him D'Angelo Gruden as well, too. So, but just looking at it, man, the biggest thing was, I think, the fact that we saw 5 wide receivers come out of there on the active roster.
That is definitely one of the most surprising things to me, was that they're only carrying 5 on the active roster. That for some reason they didn't want Mo Harrison there as a number 6, but at least he was able to clear waivers to go to the practice squad.
And Bob Davis as well. And the surprising one was the inconsistent Brian Quick mixing in there on the 5 spot. And, Jay Gruden said in the middle of the week last week that that Josh Doctson hasn't done that much for the team. And, yeah, that's pretty obvious. Only that 62-yard catch and run that he couldn't finish up against Dallas last year, and he really didn't do much in the preseason. He had a slant route that he caught over the middle against Green Bay, and that was it. You and I, we talked about this. We exchanged text messages, and I said I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan Grant is the number 2 receiver with Jamison Crowder being in the slot come Sunday.
I wouldn't be surprised about that either. Also, I like what Jay Gruden did as far as basically calling out Doctson in the way that Jordan Reed learned to play through pain last year. And the year before that, Jordan Reed, before in his first couple of years, if he was hurt, that was it. He was hurt. He wasn't going to play. But he finally learned to play through the pain. If the pain isn't unbearable,
yeah,
then I think that's just a lesson that Josh Doctson needs to learn as well.
Yeah, his draft mate learned something about that too.
the one we'll get to in a little bit.
Yeah, the one we'll get to in a little bit there.
I'm craving for it.
Yeah, but and then we look at even rounding up with the offense. We look at they only kept 2 quarterbacks, Kirk Cousins and Colt McCoy, and Nate Sudfeld goes to the city of Brotherly Hate with the Eagles as their practice squad quarterback now. And it comes to...
You better not whistleblow. You better not pull a Snowden.
Yeah, this is true. But, they're going to probe him. And, I mean, after losing to a team 5 times in a row, you're going to try to pull out any stops you want to beat them this time. Yeah, so, and even the last time Doug Peterson was in Philadelphia, he was swept by him as well because he was the...
I'm truly honored to present the Offensive Player of the Year award.
Quarterback, and he was a quarterbacks coach in Philadelphia, I think, back in 2012. So you think about it, outside of playing the Chiefs, Doug Peterson, coaching for the Chiefs back in 2014, Doug Peterson hasn't beat the Redskins since 2011. So, he's looking to beat them, and it's a long-seated hate with him being a backup quarterback in Philly and him being a coach in Philly and now the head coach. So, he's going to pull out any stops, I think, at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we move on to the running backs, and it's not really a surprise here. I think that's the only thing we really did get right. Rob Kelly, P. Ryan, Chris Thompson, Mac Brown. Fumbleitis goes to Indianapolis, and then Kenny Hill, he was cut too. Fumbleitis being Matt Jones, that experiment is over. Matt who? Nobody cares. And I really think, like I said last year.
And
go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like I said last year, this running back core, it's still not impressive to me, but we'll see come Sunday what they can do.
Definitely agree there. Another one I believe we got right was tight ends.
Yes.
Derek, we were able to pull off a trade. What do you know? Yeah. We reunited Derek Carey with Sean McVay for a seventh round pick, I believe, in 2018. I believe it was 2018.
And so Jordan Reed, Vernon Davis, Niles Paul, and Sprinkle. And Paul really comes out of the backfield a lot now as that quote unquote fullback. And I think he's there because he's good on special teams. He can play it anywhere you put him. He's basically a Swiss Army knife when it comes to playing. He can play tight end. He probably could still play wide receiver. Fullback, and then he's good on special teams, and that's why he wears that C. And we'll see when they get the captains out if he retains his C.
Definitely, I believe he will. I believe he'll retain his C. I think as far as the captains go, just a quick little guesstimate there. I think it's going to be Kirk's going to get a captain for second year in a row. Also on the offense, probably Trent. On the defense, you're going to look at, I think Will Compton maintains his captaincy just because of his leadership. Not going to start. I still think he'll be a captain. And also Josh Norman. Josh Norman's leadership last year was starting to come through. But he just wasn't a captain in his first year. But I can see it this year. And then, as I said, special teams. I would say Tressway and we just had Niles Paul.
Yeah, Niles Paul. Yeah, so looks like what the Redskins have went with over the last couple of years here was the 2-2-2 there. You get two special teams, 2 defenses, and 2 offensive captains.
2 offensive.
And you mentioned Trent Williams and the offensive line. Ari Kwanjo got cut. It looks like
he did.
Yeah. So in Royer and Catalina, they will take up the 2 backup spots because we know Ty and Secchi, he was going to make the team unless he did dreadful, which he did not. And
then we picked up TJ Clemmings off of waivers.
Yes, we sure did.
They have him listed as a tackle, but didn't he play guard for Minnesota?
He did play guard for Minnesota, yes.
Okay, so he's just one of those versatile pieces.
He will be a swing tackle there, and it looks like Vincent Painter did make it this time. The guy they traded for, Lucas Crowley, he's gone with the wind as well, but I think he was signed to the practice squad, and so was Kyle. Is that Callis? I don't know if I keep on saying.
Yeah, Kyle Callis was. Yeah, practice squad goes as follows: Brandon Banks, no, not that Brandon Banks. Robert Davis, Vanessa Garner, Kyle Callis, Pete Robertson, linebacker, and our favorite Fish Smithson.
Yes, Fish Smithson. And
I'm glad they were able to keep him.
Yeah.
Still no. They have room for 3 more people. It's practice squad goes to 10, doesn't it?
Yeah, and they actually signed a quarterback, I believe, too.
Yes.
From Atlanta.
Alex somebody. You're right. It just hasn't updated on the website yet.
I think that was a. I cannot think of what his name, but he came from the Falcons.
His first name's Alex. I know that for
Yes.
sure.
So Alex from the Falcons, he will. He was a draft pick in this past draft, I believe, for the Falcons there. But then we switch sides over to the defensive line, and neither AJ Francis or Mbu are on the practice squad or on the defensive line that they set for John Allen, of course, Ziggy Hood, Anthony Lanier, Stacey McGee, the overpaid Terrell McClain, and the hapless Matt Ioannidis are
The itis.
Yes, the itis, and he plays like he has the itis, and so does Terrell McClain. And I said this on Warpath Wednesday last week. I think Terrell McClain is just a product of a Rob Marinelli genius. He puts people in the right place where he can get them out where they need to go. Hopefully, this is just his preseason self, and maybe he can be pumped up to play a little bit better in what he's worth. But when you spend that much money on a lineman, you don't want him seeing him being that bad. And I think, was it you who said Stacey McGee was the better out of the 2 tackle that we got, the 2 ends that we got? Or
Between McGee and McClain?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe McGee was the better of the 2.
Because you're out there in semi-Raider country, and you guys get to see them. And then the linebackers, not a lot of surprises here. I didn't think, although we would have liked to see Bob's.
A couple of surprises for me personally.
Well, yeah, it is. I just looked at it. 6 out of the 7 draft picks are on here. So Ryan Kerrigan, Zach Brown, Mason Foster, Preston Smith, Will Compton, and then Martrell Spate, Chris Carter, Josh Harvey Clemens, and Junior Gillette, Ryan Anderson. And I think the middle chunk of those guys are surprising. And I know that Chris Carter was a shock to me, but just the way he played throughout the preseason, he kind of earned that position there. And so did Josh Harvey Clemens, who was actually a safety in college.
Right, he was, and then they put him to MLB.
Yeah,
and he was doing well. He had that pick 6 against Tampa, and it was like the slowest run back I've ever seen, but he still got it in.
There you go. Hey, it doesn't matter. And that was all the touchdowns that game that the Redskins saw. They probably would have lost that game if they had had that interception. But yeah, Nico.
Did you see what ESPN had posted after the game?
No, I did not.
ESPN actually made a typo in the article. Saying that Redskins beat Tampa to go unbeaten in the preseason. And I'm like, you are ESPN. You do not know the record of a national football team.
Fake news. Fake news.
Oh, fake news.
Yeah, fake news. And excuse me. Then we move over. We go into the defensive backfield. I guess where it kind of, I didn't think Josh Hosey would have made the 53-man roster. I thought he had a shot at playing being on the practice squad, but
same here.
Yeah, but he's played well enough. I think him and Fabian Moreau are playing about the same level, and Fabian did really well.
Oh, Fabian's been amazing since he was able to come back.
And I mean, these 2 guys are playing, if not better than Kendall Fuller. But you know, and they kind of.
Well, Fuller's just naturally supposed to be an outside corner, and
right.
he's not.
He's not playing out.
They need they need to put Breland in the slot. That's where he's best. He was actually Breland last year was rated the best slot corner,
Right.
and by Pro Football Focus. So that's not like us being Homer saying that. Oh no, Breland's the best slot corner in the league. No, Pro Football Focus says that.
That's right.
And Fuller's just a more natural outside. So I can see Fabian Moreau pushing Fuller for that slot corner job if they don't move Breland in, which they probably won't.
And he's a great asset on special teams too. I mean, against the Packers, he was flying. He flew to that ball on the punt coverage team. So I think the corners are looking good. Good young corners. And then they're headed by Josh Norman, so they get to learn from one of the best. And you know, I think Dunbar, he's done good. He's been a stalwart, and he shows why he should still be on this team. And that's where it kind of got murky, though. After you get from the corners, you get to the safeties. DJ Swearinger, Sewell Cravens, we'll get to him in a minute. DeShazer Everett, Monte Nicholson, the guy that you called was going to be drafted at that spot. Always have to give you that. And then Stephen McClure, and then Will Blackman and Smith. Fish got put on the practice squad, but Will Blackman was kind of a stunner there. And now you just really have youth and inconsistency, I think, there, because as much as I like DJ Swearinger, he's been inconsistent at best in his NFL career. This is his fourth NFL team in how many years? Probably in 5 years. So you're looking at he played in Arizona last year. Then he was in Houston. And where was he at before then? Was it just Houston?
Wasn't he in Miami at some point?
I don't think he was in Miami.
Let me look it up here.
Let's take a look here real quick.
Swearinger. Here we go. Wikipedia, this guy. Houston
Tampa.
from 2013 to 2014, Tampa, Arizona, and now with us.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that I think he'll be the best free agent pickup that the Skins had in this class. But like I said, he's been inconsistent at best, and you got a lot of youth there. And I think he's also is the oldest safety in the bunch at 26.
On the active roster, yes. Yeah. If you count the pup list with D'Angelo Hall.
I forgot about my man D'Angelo Hall, and I just
D'Angelo Gruden.
Yeah,
no, he's D'Angelo Snyder.
That's Clinton Snyder.
That's Clinton Snyder.
Clinton Porter Snyder.
Chris Snyder.
Yeah. But of course the special teams, Hopkins, who finally missed the field goal, Tressway, it's a punter, and Nick Sundberg. And I don't know, as far as I will end the discussion on talking about the preseason, though. It was a lackluster preseason, but it is only preseason. And
right.
I mean, a lot of naysayers, including us, we can say it. I mean, because from what I've seen here, this looks no better than a 6-10 team. Just looking at preseason play.
Oh, you're generous. Okay.
I don't do drugs like you do, and
Why you gotta live in California? You gotta say drugs.
I'm just saying. As Stephen A. Smith would say, you must be on drugs. And you said, and we'll probably get into it here a little bit later, about you say 2-14, and on one of our next videos, you're going to explain this. And
yes,
in a way that is very fascinating, very interesting. But just looking at that 53-man roster, this is what we're going to have to roll with. And this is who we're going to see Sunday, September 10th against the Eagles. And your final thoughts on the 53-man roster here?
Well, as far as the 53 goes, it's as solid as it's gonna get. That's the cookie crumbles. If you've seen injury anywhere, I mean, if a linebacker goes down, I expect Mo Harris to come to the active roster. If another safety goes down, either McClure or Nicholson or even Swearinger for that matter, or Everett. If any of the safeties go down, we'll see Fish Smithson. So I think Hall, because you have to be on the PUP list
6 weeks.
for. I think you have to be on there for 6 weeks, but that's the max you can be on there, 6 weeks. And then after that, you have to either get an exemption for them, or they have to go to the active roster or IR. So if Hall's not better by week 6, then I think he's gonna go on the IR or he'll retire. We haven't. I've been craving to talk about this guy.
Yes, we
Stuart
have
Cravens.
to talk. We have to talk about Stuart Cravens. And let me hold on. Give me a second. Yeah, and we will be talking about Stuart Cravens here in some upcoming videos where we preview the schedule and we talk about Amir's crackpot theories on how the Redskins will finish the season 2-14 in 2017. But for right now, we're going to leave you here. This is 53-man roster. Going to rock and roll. Could have been better. We don't know, but we will see. Maybe this team, maybe Jay Gruden is a secret genius. We don't know. But as always, we love you guys here, and we'll be talking to you real soon. As always, love, peace, and hell, and we're out.